With everything you hear on the news, what's the truth about the right time to buy a house here in Granbury? Hi, I'm David Orcutt with Winston Properties here in Granbury, Texas, and we're here to find you a house in Granbury. And to do that, we want to learn about financing, and we're talking to our local expert, Erin Bassett with Academy Mortgage. Erin has helped hundreds of clients over the years. She's been in Granbury doing mortgage broker for over 10 years. And she's local. She has an office right here on 377, easy to get to in the middle of town. And so you can deal with somebody right here who knows the market, but is also very personal attention to what you have going on with your family. So we'll get started. Let's talk interest rates first.
Interest rates were their highest in October of 2023. So they've definitely come down since then.
What did they hit? For
they were
somebody with
eights,
good credit?
Eights.
In the eights, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing now?
If you have great credit, mid-sixes.
Okay.
It's a huge difference.
Okay. So interest rates are driven by a lot of things, but primarily by the federal funds rate.
Yeah, it's by them assessing what's going on in our economy, basically.
Right. So the federal funds rate for COVID time period, we're at 0. And now they've gone up to over 5%. So when they were 0, people were getting mortgages in the 2 to 3% range if you had good credit and everything else equal. And now you're seeing it at 8.
Yes.
Right. So if going from 0 to 5 added 5%, so 2 to 3 became 7 or 8. But you've seen that come off now, even though the federal funds rate hasn't gone down. And that's just expectations.
Yes.
People believe it's going to come down.
They hedge their bets, right?
Yeah.
You know, we raise them right before we know there's bad data coming out to kind of cover, to make sure that we can still afford the things and stay in business, you know, and then we'll bring them down after we kind of get more economy data.
On the pricing side of homes, COVID in Texas really drove up prices. Not like some other crazy parts of the country. Texas is still a great deal, price per square foot, size of house, all those kind of things, but and availability of homes. But we definitely saw that, I believe that the year after we sort of had our peak, some prices held, but I would say the market dropped about 5 to 10%. We definitely have seen that the last year prices have not gone up like they were going before, 10%, 15% a year. And then I think as you track that over to the rental markets, again, had gone up 5, 10% a year for 3 years. And this last year, they've really held flat from what I can see.
And I don't think it's the value. I think it's just people aren't buying because rates are higher.
Yeah.
You know, mortgage payments kind of
Absolutely. The house didn't fall apart in the last year. So.
Yeah.
So based on markets peaking, I think we would say that it might be a good time to buy because we've come off the peak both on housing prices and on interest rate, which are the two things that drive the mortgage payment for most people.
Yeah.
So the second item we want to talk about is if you're a buyer, you want to be in a buyer's market. You want to be in an environment where the seller doesn't have all the power. What have you seen on your side? Do you think we're in a buyer's market now, and what maybe would say that?
I think that we're definitely in a buyer's market. You know, sellers are sitting on their houses for longer when they need to move or whatever reason they're selling.
So the days on market have gone up.
Days on market have gone up. And two, think about it, if people have owned houses for years, they're making money on it. So if they need to move that property, then buyers can come and say, hey, will you pay my closing costs? Or will you give me some cash to buy my interest rate down so my payment is more affordable?
Okay.
You know, those are both viable options. They're paying for just more things. They'll do some repairs, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so in the seller's market, we saw a lot of cash buyers win the bidding wars. So if you're a regular person getting a mortgage, you know, like most of us in this room, you got beat by a cash offer. You saw that the sellers wanted everything on their timeline. You saw that there was no concessions. In fact, they started making buyers pay for things that were traditionally sellers' things, like titles.
Yes.
Zero tolerance for contingency offers.
Oh, yeah.
So if you were not able to say, well, I need to sell my house real quick before I buy yours, there's none of that.
No.
So definitely a seller's market, and the bidding wars would definitely be indicative of that.
Oh, yes, definitely.
A buyer doesn't want to have to go put offers in on 10 different houses before they get one, right? That's just hard on everybody. But you know, in the buyer's market, you want to be able to have things like, I can do a contingency. My seller will work with me on inspection issues that get found. They won't just, at the first opportunity, cut and go to the next best offer because they just want to get out of the house or not deal with anything. So I would say that yes, number two is we're definitely in a buyer's market.
Yes.
Next, we want to talk about what happens. So we think we're coming into a buyer's market. I think it's become a better buyer's market. Number three would be what happens next. That would say it's you should buy now or buy later.
So I think it'll switch. I think that it'll be a feeding frenzy. You know, so once interest rates come down, now those young married couple can afford that house. You know, and start their family. So they'll be more apt to start looking and give up the rent, because the rent can be more affordable sometimes past year. Too, and then you'll see investors kind of showing up in town, trying to buy houses. They don't want to buy houses, when the value has gone up, interest rates are up. They can't even get the rent for the house on the payment they're making, much less go over above and beyond for repairs and things like that.
My thought is, I don't think we'll get to 5%, but 2 to 3 was crazy unusual, and actually that means the Fed doesn't have any more, gunpowder left to fix another problem.
I don't think I'll ever see that again.
Yeah. So I think most people will be saying, hey, if you see 5%, that's a good time to buy a house. So we're going to see investors jump in. We're going to see all your friends are having babies, need a bigger house, all that kind of thing move in. It's smart maybe to get in right before that wave starts, because that'll switch it back closer to a seller's market where there'll be more offers on houses, maybe not 17 and crazy numbers like we saw before, but
less wiggle room from the sellers to help you.
Yeah. Before we sat down to tape, you were saying that you're starting to see a lot more action and interest this month compared to a couple months ago.
Oh, definitely. I've had more. So mortgage applications nationwide are up. So that means more people are shopping and applying for loans. I personally have had more applications this month than I did. Gosh, I had that in the first couple of weeks compared to the whole month of December.
Yeah. Great. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
So if we sort of wrap it up, we have several reasons why I think I would consider it now to be a good time to buy. And again, a lot of people have talked about this a lot over the last year, that they always think it's a good time to buy because that's what the real estate industry is based on, is getting people to buy and sell houses. But as I look at my clients and what I would advise them, I think I would get there. If we do believe the market, both pricing and interest rates have peaked. So both of those components of your mortgage payment are now starting to come much more back in line with what more people can afford.
Yeah.
Second is, we do believe it's a buyer's market by what we're seeing on the concessions, by what we're seeing on time on market, all those kind of things, and inventory.
Yeah.
That it's the time to buy because you have a lot more options and you have a lot more negotiating power.
Yes.
And then we do believe that prices will be going up soon, and it will shift more towards, maybe not all the way to a seller's market, but more power to the sellers than where we are right now. Because as interest rates go down, investors, other home buyers, everybody's in the market. And based on where the inventory is, it's very possible that prices go up with that. So getting now, while the prices and the concessions are in your favor, might be the right time.
Yeah.
And then finally, we really think it's a great time for Granbury with everything we have going on here, that the community's grown. The investor's not in the market right now, but we do see them coming again. So I think with those 4, I'd say it's a good time to buy.
I think it's a great time to buy. I just bought myself, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're in South Grove?
Southtown,
which is right next to South Grove.
Yep.
That's where my rentals are. I think it's a great neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right, very central. I know that market very well. Bought a lot of houses in there, and would love to help you with that. So yes, we're both going thumbs up. It is time to buy in Granbury. Before we go, give us your business card.
Yep. So I'm Erin Bassett with Academy Mortgage. I've lived in Granbury since '92, so I definitely know the area and I know the market. I've been in the mortgage industry for about 10 years, so I think I'm finally, I'm a little seasoned. Got all kinds of loan programs to help buyers. I think that it's a very personal transaction. Your finances are yours, so let's see what's really a good fit, and we'll just kind of work together. I'm here anytime. You can call, text. I think that, some conversations have to happen up front. It's not something you just apply and put an offer in, but let's kind of work together and get your plan figured out.
I forgot to mention, Erin actually also gives back to the community in a lot of ways. In fact, she just did a credit seminar for a bunch of our Ukrainian refugees who have moved to town, who are getting stabilized and want to get their homes and families. So she was helping to teach them how to build their credit. And it was a lot of fun.
It was
a lot
fun.
of fun with that.
I've seen some of them.
And they brought great food.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, another recommendation for Erin is I bought my house 3 years ago, and Erin was the mortgage broker for that and got me 2.75%. And so we've had a great experience with Academy, and especially with Erin, who is everything Academy to us. So I'm David Orcutt with Winston Properties. If you have any questions about the quality of life or what it's like relocating to Granbury or living in Granbury, I'd just love to talk with you about it. I love our town, I love talking about it, and certainly if you have real estate needs and are interested in getting a home here, let's get started early. The great thing that Erin can do is if she works with you early, she can help you get ready for all those products that might be open to you with some preparation. Hit like, hit subscribe, or like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.